I'd like to introduce you to our first guest speaker, Mr. Randy Gardner, the Chancellor at the Ohio Department of Higher Education. Governor Mike DeWine appointed Mr. Gardner Chancellor in January 2019, so he's coming up on almost 2 years as Chancellor of Higher Education. Chancellor Gardner is a strong supporter of Aspire and our role in helping individuals advance in the education pipeline. Chancellor Gardner.
Well, thank you very much, Donna, for your leadership, for your kind introduction, and for helping to organize this and be a part of really such the important work that's being done all throughout Ohio in adult and continuing education. So appreciate your leadership. Our team at ODHE, I've learned very quickly that we have a great team in this space, that the outreach throughout Ohio, all over Ohio. I visited almost every county in the state last year in my first year as Chancellor, and almost everywhere I went, we heard about the value of the Aspire program and working with people all throughout the state. So Miss Lori Owens keeps saying welcome to everybody, and it's her first time on this program. So I'll just say back to you, Lori, great to have you on the program. I don't think we've met, but thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. But Gary Cates, also a Vice Chancellor, our Senior Vice Chancellor, that has a number of important responsibilities at the department. One of them is kind of overseeing and providing leadership with the Aspire program. I think of Gary Cates as Representative Cates or Senator Cates. We served together in the General Assembly for many years, but he brings a lot of commitment to serving people and making sure that that the Aspire program gets the attention it deserves. And so I really value his leadership as well. And then the others who waved and that you saw really on the ground make this actually ranked by the United States Department of Education as one of the best programs of its kind in the nation, our Aspire program. So thanks to all of you who helped make that work. But especially to the people that are on this call, on this video. If it wasn't for your involvement, if it wasn't for your commitment, your willingness to be engaged in these, in helping people toward their high school equivalency or a diploma or additional college experiences moving forward, upskilling for the workplace, all of those things you do, if it wasn't for your commitment, we wouldn't be nearly as successful as we can be. So I just wanted to thank you for that. You know, with the numbers are staggering. 800,000 people or so in the state that don't have a high school equivalency or diploma. 1.5 million Ohioans who have some college but don't have a degree or a specific attainment. And we know that as we get additional education, as we achieve, we become stronger in the workplace. We become more employable, more productive, better able to serve our families. So this is just really important work. And I think this pandemic has demonstrated even more so how important you are, how critical you are to Ohio's future. Because we know that those without these credentials, without this attainment, without this adult learning opportunities, have an even more difficult time being a part of our state's economy. Let me give you a little bit of a feel for my boss, Governor Mike DeWine. Part of the reason I'm doing this is my second week in a row with a special video conference with Donna Albanese, and I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I believe, I was with Gary Cates on a program that he provided leadership on that's going to be a statewide program in workforce development and training throughout the state. So we do this all the time. This is what Governor DeWine wants us to do, not just to speak to Ohioans, but to listen. Our very first cabinet meeting, Governor DeWine told the cabinet, we are going to listen carefully to the people of Ohio, and then we are going to act with a sense of urgency. And so that's been basically what I think of every day as Chancellor, is listening carefully to people throughout the state and then acting with a sense of urgency. So I raise that only to say that if there are new ideas new ways of improving, getting better, serving people in this state, we want to hear about that. I want to hear about that personally. I want you to translate those ideas, those issues to our leadership from the department that will be on part of this conference. We want to hear from you because the status quo isn't good enough anymore. We have to continue to get better and do more. And Governor DeWine is perhaps the best listener of any statewide elected official I've worked with in my career. And I don't know if you saw a bio or not of me, it's okay if you didn't, but 33 years in the Ohio House and the Ohio Senate. And I've worked with a lot of governors and statewide officials. He's a great listener. And let me give you a real quick example of what I mean. A number of weeks ago, I was hosting these, what I call the Chancellor student roundtables. We had 56 different universities and colleges represented around the state and 56 students representing those places. The governor was on one of those roundtable video conferences, and the students elevated mental health and counseling as an important concern or consideration for doing more to help our college universities and our students. The governor listened to that, and literally 2 days later, he asked the director of mental health and addiction services, Lori Chris, and myself to come up with a program to elevate mental health and counseling services on our campuses, to utilize some of our federal dollars that we've received in response to the pandemic, and to invest those in students throughout Ohio. And so it happened. That money actually, and it's just not an idea, it's not a promise, it's not a thought. It actually, that money is actually now out the door in the hands of college and university officials and in our communities, partnering with existing agencies and doing some additional things to support students on our campuses. And it would have happened, I believe, someday at some level, but it wouldn't have happened as productively and certainly not as quickly if students hadn't talked directly to the governor and elevated that issue. That's just an example I would submit of Governor DeWine's assertive leadership and how he listens to people throughout the state to try to make a difference. This current pandemic is so challenging that he can't make everyone happy. And it seems like lately almost everybody is unhappy about something, or at least frustrated and challenged. But thankfully, we have you involved in helping people throughout the state. And this outreach, this workforce development, this aiding our economy in strategic ways, these are just all important things that you do to help us. So I'm pretty much going to probably leave it go there. But want to welcome you to this conference. I know that we're going to learn from you. We want your ideas. We want your new ideas. None of us knows at the department, or none of us knows in public office how long you have to try to make a difference. So we're not waiting around for different opportunities. We want to know now what we can do to partner with you, to learn from you, what's important in your county, in your community. And so I hope what I love to do is I love to say that, and I love someone to give us an idea, and we turn that idea into a budget amendment, or we turn that idea into a change in our policy that better serves the students, better serves the adults that you are privileged to serve. So with that, to Donna and to Senior Vice Chancellor Cates, to others on our team, and to all of you, it's a great honor to spend some time with you today. Look forward to learning more from what you do and to make us even stronger and better. It's a great honor to serve as Chancellor of the Ohio Department of Higher Education, but even more so to get to know some more of you as together we work together in the weeks, months, and years ahead. So have a great conference. Thanks for having me, and look forward to working with you in the future. God bless.
Thank you very much, Chancellor Gardner.
You're
we
welcome.
really appreciate having you here, and we appreciate your continued support for what we do. Without support at the state level, we wouldn't be able to serve our students the way we do. So the fact that you recognize what we do and the importance of it is so appreciated. So thank you. And thank
Well,
you for
could
taking
I
your
could I
time.
just add that, and former Senator Cates would be able to tell you this too, that it's difficult to support programs without a track record, without value, without knowing how you work in your communities. And so by getting out and going around and Vice Chancellor Cates has done a great job of that as well, going out in the communities throughout the state. But knowing firsthand what you do for people makes it actually pretty easy for us to support this. But without that track record, it's harder to convince legislators or a governor's office that this should remain a priority. There's going to be a lot of tug of war. There's going to be a lot of challenges in the next state budget. Revenues are not what we would have liked them to be because of this pandemic. But I truly believe that the Aspire program and the other adult and continuing ed programs are going to be prioritized because we know that how important they are and because we know they work. And so I want you to know this isn't just a continuing the status quo type of program. It's one that needs to get even stronger. And the fact that you have a strong track record is additional value to us as we advocate for continuing the program. And if I could, I don't know, I see my colleague, Mr. Cates there. I don't know if he wants to say a word or two now or whether he's on the agenda later, but I couldn't do what I do without the talent and the commitment of people like Donna and Gary and others that are partners in this effort. So thank you, Christina, for your kind words as well.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. And
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Chancellor,
Gary.
for your participation.
Glad to be a part of it.
Mr. Cates, did you want to say anything or?
No, it's best not to speak after the boss.
We're all in this together, everyone. Thank you very much. I've got a couple other conferences I'm doing here in a few minutes, so I'm going to need to leave, but I will definitely get reports and learn more from this conference. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Cates.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right.